Congratulations on your new tag trailer and welcome to the nuCamp family. Before you get started on your new adventures, let's take a look at your trailer. We'll review the details and the basic operations so that you can enjoy your trailer with confidence. Let's start right up front and review connecting the trailer to your tow vehicle. First, lift up on the handle of the coupler and pull the collar back out of the way. Next, you'll back your vehicle underneath until the ball is directly underneath the coupler and crank the jack down to load it onto the ball. Once it's sitting on the ball completely, simply lift up this handle, slide the collar forward, and you can tell if it's correctly latched if these tabs are going right down in the slot. Next, you'll want to attach the chains to the connection points on both sides of your hitch. Now you're going to plug the 7-way into your vehicle. Notice there is a notch right here at the top of this 7-way plug, and there will be a corresponding notch on the receptacle on your vehicle. So be sure to line those up and push the plug in completely. This is going to provide electric power not only to the taillights, but also to the electric brakes on the trailer. Now, to make that connection, you will need a brake controller on your vehicle. It can either be a box under the dash or a piece of equipment added between this plug and the vehicle. Either way, it is going to tell your trailer to engage the brakes whenever you step on the brake pedal. Now, the last thing that this is going to do is it is going to provide power from your vehicle when you're driving to charge your battery. One last safety feature, the breakaway cable. You'll want to hook this up the same place you hooked up the chains. Now, what this does is it pulls a pin on the trailer if for any reason the trailer gets separated from your tow vehicle while you're traveling. It engages the brakes and stops the trailer. Once you're fully connected to the tow vehicle, you'll want to raise the jack as tall as you can to provide the most clearance, then pull the pin on the caster and remove the caster wheel. You can store that caster wheel in your aluminum tub or in your tow vehicle. Remember, before you drop your trailer and disconnect from your tow vehicle, pin that caster back on so you can move the trailer easily. Inside the diamond plate tub, you'll find the 5-gallon propane tank that comes with the trailer and the battery that will be provided by your dealer. Now, to open the propane tank, turn the knob to the left. You can see the arrow right there on the handle. And to close it, turn it to the right. If you need to remove this tank to either exchange it at a convenience store or to refill it at a propane station, be sure it's closed and then disconnect the green connector here. There is a wing nut down here to loosen this bracket and simply lift the tank out. Replace it exactly the same way and be sure that this green connection is tight. Behind the propane tank is the propane regulator, and next to that, the battery disconnect switch. Right now you can see that the battery is upward facing. That means your battery is connected. By turning this a quarter turn, the battery is on its side and it is disconnected. Keep in mind you'll only want to disconnect the battery if it's in storage, because when it's disconnected, it's not going to charge when you're going down the road or when you're plugged in at shore power. Right now you can see 3 fuses down here in the wiring. Now all this wiring will be connected to the battery. One of these fuses is for the battery itself. The other 2 are for the solar panels. There is a 105-watt solar panel on this trailer, and one of those fuses will be connected to the portable solar port on the side. If you have a portable solar panel or you're interested in purchasing one, you can plug it in here right on the side and it's going to connect directly to the battery. If your plug doesn't exactly match the port here, don't worry about that. There are adapters available online and they're very inexpensive. The aluminum platform underneath the tub is part of the Boondock package, so that will be included if you've elected to have the Boondock package on your trailer. The handles on the front are not just for show. They are here so you can move this trailer around wherever you need it to go. On the driver's side, you have a cable connection in case you're in a park that has cable TV. You can connect it right here. Also, your water connection is in a locked cabinet, which is really nice. Inside there, you fill the freshwater tank on the left, and on the right is where you connect your hose if you're going directly from the hydrant. Now be sure to use a water pressure regulator when you're connecting your hose here to be sure the pressure is within the range of 50 psi. Down below is the spray port. The hose you can store right inside. And before I connected, I like to pull out the spray port, makes it a little easier. To connect it, you'll want to pull back on this collar and press in the connection. Now you have to push pretty hard to get it to connect, and then the collar will slide back up and it's locked in. To remove the hose, simply pull back on the collar and the hose will disconnect. I like to tuck this back in before I store it, and it will slide right back in over the connection there and lock right back up. In the middle is the 30 amp shore power connection. Now you'll see that there's 3 prongs here. One of them has an L shape on it, and you'll want to line that up with the L shape on the receptacle. Now once you've got that plugged in, you want to give it a good push, and you can twist it to the right just a little bit to secure it. Then screw on the threaded collar for additional stability. There's a vent located at the top to keep the air conditioner cool when it's operating. The tag has 2 stabilizer jacks, one on each side of the rear. So after you've leveled your trailer, just connect the crank and crank these down so they're hand tight for stability when you're using the camper. One more thing, right in here you can see this silver knob. This is going to be the low point drain if you want to drain the fresh water tank. On the other side of the stabilizer jack is the drain for the sink. Remove this cap and you can attach a hose to a bucket or to a tote tank. A good thing to add to your checklist before you head back out, reattach this cap. Let's take a look at the rear kitchen. First, there's a sink on the left, and this handle just rotates up and down to turn the faucet on and off. In the back, there's the water pump switch and the switch for the accent light running right along the rail here. There is a light at the center of the cap. It's a push button, just push it on and off. The 2-burner stove is in the center, and let me show you briefly how to light it. First, push down on the knob and turn it all the way to light. That's going to allow gas to come out, and you will take a log lighter and simply light the flame. Once it's lit, you just adjust this to whichever temperature or flame height that you need for cooking. Once you're done, turn it off and be sure you allow that stove to cool before you close your rear kitchen. One more thing. There is a safety feature built in on this gas prop, and this mechanism turns off the gas every time you close the back hatch for safety. The microwave is under the stove, and keep in mind that it only operates on 110, which is shore power. That's also true of the household plugs like this one in the corner. Now this is a GFI plug, so that if your electric quits working on 110, simply reset at that GFI. And the last thing, there is a twist knob here to pull the drawer out that has your cooler. When you close the drawer, that will engage and lock into place. As a reminder, you'll want to turn off your lights before you close your hatch. It's always a good idea to lock the handles before you head out. There's a matching air conditioner vent on this side as well. Now that really helps to dissipate the heat when that air conditioner is running and keeping you cool inside. One last thing, there's a spare tire mounted in the center underneath the trailer. There's a ratchet provided, and that is in the welcome packet that you'll find inside your trailer. And here's where you connect that ratchet to raise and lower the tire. The directions are right here on the left. It does state not to use a power tool because you want to keep the torque between 20 and 25 pounds. Let's take a look at what's inside now. Let's start with the lighted panel across the ceiling. Your indirect light up there is controlled by a switch on the end, along with the porch light on the outside. The porch light on the other side has a switch in the same location. There is a power fan right in the middle. Let me show you how that works. First, you'll want to unlock the vent cover right here by turning this clockwise. Then open the vent cover right here. And once it's open, you'll need to select whether you would like the air to come in or be pulled out of the camper. Make that selection with this switch right here. And then there is 3 speeds on the power fan, so you'll choose that next. All right, there is a thermostat on this fan, so if you would like for it to run all the time, you can put it all the way to cool. If you would like for it to come on if it gets too hot in the camper, simply adjust this to come on at the appropriate time. If for some reason you don't have power to your fan, you may have blown the fuse. Let me show you where that's located. It's right here on this button. The 4-amp fuse is marked. Just unscrew this knob, replace the fuse, and screw it right back in. Now, one of the things that can cause that is if you change direction of the fan while it's running. Be sure to stop the fan before you change it to move in the other direction. Now, one last thing. Before you travel, be sure you close this fan and swivel it into the locked position. Above the window on the driver's side is the carbon monoxide detector. And you can see it's a 9-volt battery, so you'll want to keep that handy. If that 9-volt battery starts to get low, it's going to chirp about every 30 to 45 seconds. That's how you know that battery needs to be replaced. There is a test button right on the top, and we always recommend that you test it before every camping trip. To open the window, you'll want to push the red button if there is one, open these latches, and then push the window out to your desired level. Once it's there, tighten these clamps on the side to hold it in position. To close the window, simply unscrew the knob and let it fall closed. Now there's 2 ways to latch it. There is a slot right here at the bottom section, and if you would like to have a little bit of airflow, just use that slot. That allows air to flow between the window and the frame. That is great to help with condensation or just have a little extra airflow while your window is secure. What you can't do is travel with it in that position. So before you travel, be sure you latch it completely and it is fully engaged in front of that knob. Now, if you need a screen, simply pull it down from the top and it will latch right here on the bottom. If you need a blackout shade, that pulls up from the bottom. Now you notice these are latched together, so you certainly can work with a little bit of screen on the top while you have privacy on the bottom. To release, it's just pull back on that. They will disconnect. And whenever you're traveling, you want to be sure the blackout shade and the screen are in the full compressed position. Next, I'm going to show you the heater on the tag. There's a start-stop button on the lower right-hand corner, and the display is telling me that the heater is set for 83 degrees. Now, this heater has different modes. If you push the mode button once, it's going to tell you 0H. It has ability to set a timer for 1 to 9 hours. If you want the heater to run for a period of time and then stop, that's where you would set it. If you press the mode button once and then press it again, it goes to straight heat. That means the heater is simply working whenever it's needed. If you push this mode button twice, then it goes to heat, but you can also change to fan only. Now that's important because if your heater is running, but for some reason it's not heating your trailer, you might want to check to be sure it isn't on fan only. And the way you do that again is just pushing the mode button twice. Up at the top, simply the up and down arrows to raise the temperature higher or lower, depending on what you'd like that heater to be set at. There is also a remote. The remote has the same controls on it as it does right here on the panel and works exactly the same. It is run on 2 batteries that are in the back, so if your remote isn't working, be sure to replace the batteries. There is a switch here for the AC fan right next to the heater. So if you're running your AC, you always want to turn on your AC fan. And again, that helps dissipate the heat out the vents on the side. The AC, pretty self-explanatory. There is a high fan and low fan, and then a high and low cool, and you can set the temperature right up here on the top. Now above, in this cabinet, when this latch is flush, that means that it's locked. To unlatch, give it a push, it's going to pop out and become a knob to open the cabinet. Inside, you will see the plug for the AC. These buttons right here are a breaker. So if your AC quits working, you might need to reset it right here. Next to that is the panel for TV prep. Now, if you want to add a TV to your tag, check with your dealer and they will give you the details on that. On the side, you will see the controller for the solar panel on the roof. There's a 105-watt solar panel on the roof. Nothing that you have to do here, but if you're parked in the sun or traveling and there's sun on that panel, it's going to be charging your battery. Okay, let's take a look at the converter on the other side. The converter holds the breakers and fuses for the trailer, and inside you will see the breakers on the left, the fuses on the right for the 12-volt system, and everything will be marked on what it connects to. Now, if you're having an electrical problem of any kind, this is a great place to start. Another function of the converter, it charges your battery when you're plugged into shore power. Above the window on the driver's side is the smoke alarm. Again, it will chirp every 30 to 45 seconds if the battery gets low, and again, easy to replace the battery if you need it. There's also the test on the front so you can be sure it's working properly before you leave on your trip. The switch for the porch light on this side, as I mentioned before, is up on the panel on the ceiling. And I also wanted to mention on the lock. If you wanted to lock this from the inside, just flip over the red switch on the top. The last piece of safety equipment is up here in the front corner on the driver's side. If you check the indicator on the front, you'll want that yellow dial to be in the green zone, and that tells you that it's operating properly, fully charged, and ready to keep you safe. Above the fire extinguisher is the thermostat for the heater that I showed you earlier. It's powered by 2 AAA batteries that may need to be replaced in the future. Simply replace them on the back and drop it right back in the holder. There are 2 reading lights on the front. By pushing them once quickly, they're blue. If you hold the button down, they're going to turn white. And of course, nupush it one more time to turn it off. All the equipment we've talked about here will have its own operating manuals and warranty information located in the black nuCamp bag that comes with your trailer. The owner's manual from nuCamp, however, is located online for easy reference at nucamprv.com/documents. If you still have more questions, please contact your dealer for more information. Again, congratulations on your new tag trailer, and we are so glad to have you as part of the nuCamp family. From all your friends here at nuCamp, we wish you many great adventures.